Mary has always been a great model with amazing virtues and has inspired many in the history of the church. Mary's presence in the gospel and her attitude towards different situations in the gospel has been a topic of discussion for many in the church. Her life situations can be reflected and meditated to any person in the world because I believe that there is no influential person like Mary whom a Christian can imitate in his or her life of holiness. As I speak these words before you, I would like to refer Mary as an example for a solution to be imitated in his life with the young people. First of all, the visitation of Mary to her cousin Elizabeth. When we look at the instance of Mary visiting Elizabeth, we find her going out of her way in order to help Elizabeth. For Mary, it was not necessary to undertake such a tiresome journey to the house of Zechariah, for she herself was carrying a child in her womb. This shows Mary's interest for the other. At their meeting, two major incidents took place. Firstly, the child in Elizabeth's womb leapt for joy and Mary sang the praises of God. And dear friends, this is exactly what happens during our encounter with the young people. We are called to bring forth joy in the life of the young people. Later, our presence and the joy which we have instilled in them enables us to enunciate the praises of God in a way of thanking Him for having given these youngsters to our care in order to lead and to guide them in the path of holiness. This particular example of Mary is not something that is to be ignored, but it is something that to be reflected, especially for us Salesians. The second instance that I would like to place before you is the presence of Mary at the wedding feast at Cana. A special quality of Mary that could be culled out from this occasion is that she was observant enough to notice the depletion of wine at the wedding feast. One of the important qualities of a Salesian assistant is the ability to observe. As a Salesian, we are called to be observant in all the aspects of our life. Mary's timely observation brought prestige to the wedding feast at Cana. We too must bring impacts in the life of the young people through our timely observations as a Salesian. The third instance that I would like to notify is a visit of Mary to her son during his public ministry. This particular instance can be found in the Gospel according to St. Mark chapter 3, wherein Jesus is informed by the crowd that his mother and brothers are waiting outside to speak to him. This is the only place where we find Mary present during Jesus' public ministry. Why is Mary present during Jesus' public ministry? What is she doing there? Is she there to listen to Jesus? The purpose of Mary's presence there during Jesus' public ministry is out of concern for Jesus, because if we just look back into the previous verses, we find the crowd accusing Jesus of being possessed by Beelzebul. People ridiculed, saying that Jesus had gone mad. How can a mother stomach the expression of her son being called mad? Yes, dear friends, this is the reason why Mary is present. But something that is to be noted here is that Mary stood speechless. And it is through this silence she continues to show her support in God's work of salvation. This inspires me to ask a question. As Salesians, do we give spiritual support to the youngsters? Do we pray for them? Do we entrust them into the hands of God? Yes, dear friends, this is one of the important aspects that we should not forget in our life, and that is prayer. The fourth instance that I would like to bring to your notice is the journey of Mary along with Jesus on the way to Calvary. What an agony she might have undergone. Her only son was dragged along to be crucified, but she remained silent, witnessing each step of Jesus. She stood close to Jesus, supporting and assisting him on the way to Calvary. This raises before me a question. Do we stand close to youngsters, or do we move away and disregard them in their moments of trials? Do we have a heart for them? Do our endeavors reveal that we are for them? If not, it is time to wake up and amend our ways and make it oriented towards our mission for the young people. These four instances are a great example for us to be imitated. As Salesians, we are expected to be for the young people. Like Mary, our motive should be that of service-oriented, which leads us to Christ the King, who came not to be served but to serve. We must take interest in them and be faithful and committed to the Lord in all our words, thoughts and deeds. Only then we can direct our focus on young people. So, let us be altruistic about young people, like Mary, who was altruistic in her attitude towards others. May this example of Mary help all of us to be God-oriented and glorify Him in all our endeavors.